So today we will install pfSense open source firewall. It's totally free. We are going to install the community edition from pfSense.org. I will show you in draw.io the simple topology like this, and then we are going to set it all up in the VMware Workstation Pro. Have you tried turning it off and on again? Alright, so we need to start off with going to pfSense.org and download. While we are here, we click the download button. Unfortunately, Netgate has been a bit on the greedy side. They want us to be directed to the shop and put this in a cart because they want us to buy pfSense Plus for our and also hardware firewalls. But here in the installation image type, we are going to choose the ISO for virtual machines, and we need to add it to a cart. When we have done that, we go to enter cart and the checkout. I will log in with my netgate.com account. If you don't have an account, sign up, create an account here, top right. I will sign in. I have already downloaded this image, but as you can see here, they want your full billing address, unfortunately. But just fill it in. It will be a total of $0 and complete the order, and you will get the image file to download. I have the image file, so next up we are going to take a look at the topology. It's going to be an easy topology with the pfSense as the firewall. On the WAN side, I will make a bit of a drawing here. We will have it connected to my actual physical network here in my home lab. Yep, my router will probably act as the ISP, and this will be in the 192.168.1 space .x something. On the other side, the pfSense will also be equipped with two LAN segments. So we will have a LAN 1 here and we will have LAN 2 here. And the same goes with two different test machines. So we will have a Windows 11 that will also be on LAN 1 and a Linux Mint that will be on LAN 2. So that we can actually check traffic being routed and allowed between the different networks. So we are going to check that the Mint can indeed reach the Windows 11 machine and vice versa, but also so they can reach the internet. It doesn't matter too much what address we put here, but I think we will go with 10.1.1.0 on the LAN 1, just to keep it simple, and 10.2.2.0 on the LAN 2 side. So a very simple setup. The pfSense is the main character here. With the WAN, it will get an IP address, DHCP and internet connection, and then two LAN interfaces, one to the Windows 11 and one to the Mint. Alright, let's set it up. So we head to the VMware Workstation. I have the Mint and the Windows machine already set up. Click File, New Virtual Machine. Typical is okay. We click Next. Then we are going to go with the ISO file that we just bought for $0. So I will choose that one. It actually recognized that it's FreeBSD as the OS, so that's cool. We will hit next. And here we can type a name for the virtual machine, how it shows up in the VMware Workstation. Doesn't matter too much, but I will call it just pfSense. And next. Here we will choose the disk size. 20 gigs is more than enough. I will choose a single file. I don't want multiple files. And we need to customize some hardware. We can see the RAM is quite low. And if we take a look at the system requirements, we can actually see that it's enough with 1 gig of RAM. I read it before, but we will bump it up to 2 gigs at least. Recommended is also to keep the processor count at 1 processor, but we can bump up the cores a bit. And now for the networking part, which is of course very important. The first adapter is going to be the WAN adapter, in my case at least, and I want it to be bridged into my physical network, so it will get just as my PC or my iPhone or my other devices will get the DHCP address from my router. Then we need to add some more networks adapters for LAN 1 and 2. And here we can go with network adapter 2. We will choose LAN segments. And here we can actually click on the LAN segment, remove these old ones, and I will just put LAN segment 1. This is going to be the first LAN port. And then we have on the network adapter 3, let's put LAN segment 2. So this will correspond to the topology we just did in draw.io. So if we go back to that one, we have now 3 different ports on the pfSense. One is going to be WAN, one is going to be the LAN 1, and one is going to be the LAN 2. But we have to remember to set also the Linux Mint and the Windows 11 on the corresponding LAN segments. So let's do that while we are here. I will hit finish. And let's see, Windows 11, we will edit the settings for that one. It's going to be on LAN 1. And the Linux Mint is going to be on LAN 2. We can drag in the pfSense here, and we have all the 3 machines in the same virtual folder. Doesn't matter too much, but just it's more clean like this. Okay, so let's start the pfSense and see how it starts up. Power on. And here we can see that it's booting up. I will go into full screen now. Alright, so here we are. Netgate installer version 1. We can go left and right with the arrow keys when we will hit enter for this distribution notice, sure. And here it says welcome to pfSense, and we are going to choose install pfSense. We will just hit OK and hit OK again. Here we can see the 3 different networks adapter that we actually put on the pfSense virtual machine. So we can just double check. We can see that they are fairly similar, the different MAC addresses, but one is 83, 8D and 97. So if we go back to the actual pfSense settings, we can see that this one, if we highlight the bridge one, is actually 83. And number 2 is actually 8D. And this is of course 97. So that corresponds very good according to what we see here on the screen. And it asks us please select the WAN interface. So we will select the first one. And here it says adjust the network operation mode for the WAN EM0 interface if necessary. This is all good, so we will just go with continue. You can set some VLAN settings here also and the interface mode, but we actually want to keep it on DHCP so we get an IP address from the home router. I will hit OK here to proceed, and now it asks us please select LAN interface, so I will go with EM1. And here it says again, adjust the network operation mode for LAN 1 if necessary. We are actually going to change a bit here. We can see that static is actually okay. We are not going to have this interface get it IP as a DHCP, but we are sure going to distribute DHCP from this interface. So static is okay. We don't want any VLANs. The IP address is not the one that we thought of, so I will actually hit OK on this one. And if you remember right, the first LAN we wanted to be on 10.1.1.0, and it's best practice to have the gateway, which is this, in this case, the pfSense firewall on .1. So it will be like this. DHCP is actually on, and that is okay. The DHCP range is of course not right, because we are going with the 10 series. So we will go like this instead. Okay. And the range end is going to be also 10.1.1.150 is okay. Okay, that looks much better. We will hit continue. And here it says it's detected that we have VMware virtual machine. Please confirm the interface assignment to continue with the installation. And this looks good to me. EM0 is for the WAN and EM1 is for the LAN. So that is correct. So we will just hit continue. It's now going to verify the internet connection and trying to reach the Netgate servers. So we will just wait a bit. I will fast forward if this takes too long, but it doesn't. And here we can see that it wants us to buy a pfSense Plus subscription. And if you want more info about that, you go to netgate.com purchase plus. But I can tell you right now that it's, at least when I record this, $129 a year. Instead, we can go with Install CE, which stands for Community Edition, and it's totally open source and free, so I will go with that. Here it says please select the file system type and the partition scheme. CFS is actually recommended, which is the more modern type and good for dual core, and so we will go with that one. If you have any other or older software or hardware that you want to install this pfSense on, you can change from CFS. But I will go continue here. We will go with the stripe disk, no read or anything like that. And here is the 20 gig disk that we did in VMware. Last chance. Do you want to destroy? Yeah, yes, I do want to destroy it. Now it's creating the storage pool. It's asking us which version we want to install. And yeah, current stable sounds good to me. 2.8.0. I will go OK. And it will now install the software. So I will speed this up. Okay, pfSense post installation setup done. We will hit OK here. It asks us for a reboot. Let's do it indeed. So rebooting the system. So here is the welcome screen. But remember, we have now done the WAN and the LAN 1 interface, but we will continue to configure the pfSense now from the web GUI. We can actually here reset the admin account and the password and assign, of course, interfaces and IP addresses, but they look quite good now. Actually, they don't look that good. We can see that on the WAN it gets a DHCP, but on the LAN it actually stuck with 192 and not the 10.1.1 that we expect. So here we can choose the set interface IP addresses with the number 2, and here we go with LAN number 2. We want to configure a static IP address, and we want 10.1.1.1, and we want the 24 bits of subnet mask. And here it says for WAN, enter the new LAN, and for LAN just press enter for none. So this is a LAN, so we will just press enter. I don't bother too much with DHCP6 or IPv6 here. but we do want a DHCP server on the LAN, so I will press Y. And it will start on, yeah, why not, 10.1.1.100 is okay. And 10.1.1.199, why not? So it will be in the hundreds range. And we can indeed have HTTP. Then we won't have any annoying security warnings for self-signed cert on HTTPS. So this looks good to me. I will hit enter. And now we can see that WAN is correct, DHCP from my router, and the LAN is 10.1.1.1. Now we can reset the admin account and password if we hit number 3. The authentication privilege for the admin account will be reset to default. We press Y. New password. We can just, yeah, you can type a password that you want. I will type one for me and confirm it. That's pretty much it for the CLI. Now we will head over to the web GUI. And how do we do that? Well, hopefully we have some web GUI access from the LAN side of the firewall. That's usually how it's set up. It's very non-security wise to have it enabled on the WAN on the internet side. So we will try to access this firewall from the LAN side now. So we will go and start up the Windows 11 machine. Alright, so we are now in the Windows 11, which is on the LAN segment 1. If we go to the network and internet settings and press Ethernet, we can indeed see that it is set on DHCP and it got 10.1.1.100, so that's great news. It has the first IP address in the DHCP range, just as we wanted it. And now let's check if we actually can log in to the web GUI of the pfSense. So 10.1.1.1, which should be the gateway address. Here we are, we will go with admin and then the password that we set in the CLI. So, welcome to pfSense software. We will now be greeted by a pfSense setup wizard, so we will hit next. We will hit next again. And here we can change the host name, the domain, primary DNS servers. So for example, we can put some Cloudflare DNS here and a Google DNS here, but we can also override the DNS if we have DNS via DHCP-server. We will hit next. It's very good to set the time zone if we want to check some logs or other time sensitive information. So I will put in my time zone. And here we can see configure your WAN interface. I want indeed it to have a DHCP address from my home router, but we don't need to do any other settings except of unchecking the RFC 1918 private networks. We do not want to block these because we are actually using private networks in our lab environment. So we will untick this one. The next one doesn't really matter, but I will uncheck it and press next. And here we can see configure LAN interface. This is our LAN 1 and it will be 10.1.1.1, and that is correct. I don't want to reset the password again, so I will press next and it will reload. So that should actually be it for the wizard of the initial configuration. It says wizard complete, and here it also says check for updates, which is really good. So we can see here if we are on the latest version, and we are indeed. So 2.8.0 when I'm recording this. So we have 2 of 3 of our interfaces actually ready. We have the WAN, we have the LAN 1, but we need to assign the LAN 2, which the Mint is going to be on. So we will go to interfaces, assignments, and here we can actually see WAN, LAN, and available network port. We have another one. So we will press the green plus add here, and yeah, we will just hit save. And now we can see we have WAN, LAN and opt1. I want to change these names so it's not so confusing for us. So I will hit LAN1 on this one, apply changes, and we will call the other one, we will call LAN2 and not LAN opt1. So here we will say LAN2, and we will also of course enable it. We want to IPv4 configure it. It's going to be an static IP, and it's going to be 10.2.2.1. So just as the topology we did earlier in raw.io, and on a -24, and save and apply. Alright, so we have 3 interfaces, WAN, LAN with DHCP, but we also need DHCP on this second LAN, so we are going to go to services, DHCP-server, then we're going to hit LAN2, enable the server, and we're going to scroll down to set the actual address pool. For this case, 10.2.2.100 to 10.2.2.199. So we are in the 100 range here, and then we will just hit save and apply. That is the DHCP part. Now we can actually go to the Linux Mint and see if we got an IP address. We are now on the Mint, and remember this is already set to be on the LAN segment 2, so we will go to the network settings, and here we indeed can see 10.2.2.100. So here we got the first IP in that DHCP pool. We can also check some basic firewalling while we're at it. So then we will click on Firewall and Rules. And here we can see, for example, if we press LAN1, I'm going to delete this IPv6 because it's just confusing. Other than that, we can see that the first rule is an anti-lockout rule, and that is so that we can, from this LAN, go to any LAN1 address and manage this firewall. So this is not to get locked out. We also get a rule that goes any IPv4 protocol from this subnet can actually reach anything. So that is just as the description is default allow LAN to any role. Anything from the LAN1 can actually reach anything. Okay, but how does it look for the LAN2? We can see that this is actually completely empty. So how do we make a firewall rule? We will press the green add. The action is going to be pass. The interface is going to be LAN2. And for example, first of all, we can test if we can ping. So if we set it to ICMP, and the source can be the LAN2 subnet. The destination we can have on any, so we can try to ping, for example, Google or the other Windows machine. We will hit save and apply. Now we should at least be able to ping from the LAN2, and the Linux Mint is on the LAN2, so let's try it from the Linux Mint. We will open the terminal and we will try to, for example, ping 10.1.1.100, and we can. Let's see if we got some internet connectivity. We are trying to go to the Wikipedia site, but it's just loading. Alright, so let's try to actually make it only just not go with ping. So if we double click this rule, and instead for protocol we set any protocol is allowed to communicate out. And if we hit save and apply, we should now be able to access anything out from the LAN, to just not be able to ping out from it. So if we go back to the Mint, hit refresh, again we can now see that we can go to Wikipedia. So that is some basic firewalling with the pfSense. Hope you guys learned something. If this was useful, please like the video and subscribe for more content like this. See you guys, bye bye.